Om Shri Gajnana Padmarkam Gajnana Mahanisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadanta Upasmahe Om Shri Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodhyat Apo Jyotiraso Amrita Brahma Bhuvasva Om Sai Ishwar Pranamastu Tada Shiva Harihi Om. And good evening and welcome to all the devotees of Sai Sparshan. And today we have the Sathya Sai Sparshan 62nd online satsang session, today 16th October 2021. And as per the Panchangam today, it is Sri Plavanama Samvatsaram, Dakshinayana, Sharad Rutu, Ashwija Masa, Shukla Paksha, Ekadashi Shubhatito, Shanivasara Yuktayam, Stiravasara Yuktayam, dedicated to the worship of Sri Tirumala Sai Venkateshwara, Hanuman Anjaneya Maruti, Sri Shanishwara, Navagraha Devatas, and then Sakal Devatas Swarupa Sri Bhagavan Sathya Sai Baba and Sri Sai Baba. And we are starting today after having witnessed and undergone the various good celebrations of Navaratri and the Vijayadashmi yesterday. For last 10 days, we had a feast of various kind of celebrations in various temples, Devi temples, different types of alankaras, different types of the homas, the pujas, and also at Prashanthi Nilayam, Vrindavan, and several other Sai centers all over the country and abroad. And this great auspicious Navaratri and Vijayadashmi celebrations were really pleased to the both eyes and the ears and to the heart. And let the Sathya Sai Mahadevi bless all of us all over the world with all the prosperity, welfare, good health, and let Swami's blessings see that the corona is fast out of this entire planet. And today we will just remember the events of the last 2-3 days. 14th, we had the Ayudha Puja at the Mahanavami. And the 15th, yesterday, was the Vijayadashmi and Dasara, the Jambu Savari, and also at Ramalila in Delhi and other North Indian places. And the Veda Saptaha Yajna, Purnahuti, and the Prokshana Samarambha at Prashanthi Nilayam. And also yesterday was the Buddha Jayanti. That is the birth of the Buddha Avatara Swami, Sri Buddha. Also, therefore, let us remember these things. And also, we have been knowing about the various activities that have been started by the Satsai organization, where the Veda Mantras prayers at various Sai centers are conducted last week. At night, it was in Sai Sparshan. And similarly, the Shabda Brahma, Veda, Poshana festivals and the functions, the programs are also being conducted at national level. And it's also going on until Swami's birthday on 23rd November next month. And Bengaluru South District's program of Stotra and the pujas daily morning from 6:15 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's also being followed at our Sai Sparshan by various members and the devotees from 14th to 25th. And these are all very good activities because whatever we do, the Namasmarana, finally, satsang means it is the group of activities which is intended to worship Swami and God in various names and various avataras. Whatever we do and whatever the samskaras we have, if it is utilized in the Namasmarana of God and the Sai Swami, then it is going to help all of us. And therefore, this is a sadhana of a daily nature and also even every day, several times all the day. Also, whenever it is possible, for every moment that we live, we do something. If we can have the contemplation of the name of God, then certainly it will be helpful in removing all our problems, removing our distresses, removing our suffering, removing our sorrows, removing our diseases, and all these things. And therefore, let us pray Swami to give the strength and good health and peace of mind, long life, and prosperity to everyone. And today's topic is Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, Leelamritam and Satcharitra Upadeshas, a few more, because there are plenty. It is like the infinite. Because anything about God, Shirdi Sai Baba, Sat Sai Baba, and various avatars, for there is time is only the finite limit for us, and because of restriction of our own. And today, being the fourth and the concluding part of Shri Sai Baba's Leelamritam and Satcharitra Upadeshas, and also today we will also read about the Mahasamadhi of Shri Sai Baba. That's on Vijayadashmi Day. And coincidentally, this time, Swami Shri Sai Baba, that Samadhi took place on 15th October 1918. And today in 2021, similarly on 15th, that is yesterday, October, the Vijayadashmi has come and Swami Samadhi Day has come. It has coincided date-wise also. And some letters from Swami to devotees and students are also in the agenda, but that suppose time is not sufficient today, we may take it in our next satsang session. And today we will continue from where we had left it in Sai Baba, Sai Baba, Leelamritam and Satcharitra. And that today we will know about the omnipresence and the omnipotence and the omniscience of Shirdi Sai Swami. And many a time, whenever we talk about Shirdi Sai Baba, we also have the fortune of remembering and comparing and also enlivening it with our own experience of Swami. Because we didn't have the privilege and opportunity of being there at the time of Shirdi Sai Baba. But since we have been privileged to see Swami in the physical presence and his movements and his various other activities that we have seen, and whatever we read now in the Sai Satcharita, they are also there in Swami's, our avatars, whatever the story that we read in the Satyam Shivam Sundaram also. And about Baba's omnipresence. We know, similarly, Swami used to always say that just because you come to Prashanti Nilayam and have my darshan, and then you say Swami's presence was there and Swami's darshan was there, he said, don't limit me to one particular place or temple or mandir or a place and an altar or a puja room. And if I am God, and since you worship me as God, I am present everywhere. And my presence everywhere is the omnipresence. And similarly, in Shri Sai Baba's instances, we read a few instances. One afternoon, Mrs. Tarkad, a devotee, finished cooking and kept the food aside. Just then a dog which looked hungry came in. Seeing its starry state, she gave it 2 chapatis. The dog gulped them down with great relish and went away. In the evening, when this lady went to Baba's darshan at Dwarka Mai, Baba said, Mother, I am very satisfied with the food that you gave me today afternoon, and feed any hungry creature when it comes to your house during your lunchtime or any other time when you have some food in the house. It will reach the omnipotent Lord. You don't have to go and put it in the temple premises or offer to me here in Dwarka Mai, but wherever you offer it to any other hungry creature, whether it could be a man, a woman, or any person, or even kind of animals, it will reach me, the omnipotent Lord. And the chapati is given by you or eaten by me only in the form of that dog. See me in every creature. Don't turn it away. By satisfying their hunger, you satisfy me also. My true devotees are those who see me not only in this body, but in all other bodies, because Sai, Sai, Sai is present in everyone. With it is clear that Baba is omnipresent and indweller of all movable and immovable items. One day, a devotee named Lakshmi Bai, she was a very strong devotee of Swami, came to Baba, prostrated and sat down. Baba asked her lovingly, Child, Lakshmi, I am very hungry. Can you bring something for me? She immediately went, prepared some chapatis and curry, and brought them to Baba. Then Baba took them and immediately placed them in front of a dog which was waiting next to him. And looking at this, she asked, Swami, what is this you are doing? Is it right on your part to give them away to the dog when I have brought them with so much affection and care for you? Baba said, this is indeed the right thing to do. Mother, feed any hungry creature it will be consumed by me only. The consciousness that exists in that body and the consciousness that exists in this body are the same. For me, I am in that body. I am also in you. I am also in that dog. I am also in any other creature. Though the bodies appear different, the indweller is the same. That is the Atma and the Paramatma. There is no difference in the indweller. Seeing the Atma, which is one, as many in bondage or ignorance, recognizing that this Atma that exists in all creatures is one, that is the wisdom, and it is the liberation, the moksha, mokshaya. Did you understand, my child? Like that, he, Swami Baba, told Lakshmi, and Lakshmi gained wisdom and rejoiced at that. Therefore, it's also for the Swamis to tell many a time. That's how this Annasantarpana or even Narayana Seva, they all started like that. Swami used to say, instead of coming and bringing food to me, earlier days, a lot of people had the fortune of taking something what they had cooked in the Prasanthi Nilayam in their houses to Swami. Swami did take something from each of those devotees in order to please them. But always used to advise, don't think that if you bring it to me and I eat, then only that Annasantarpana or Narayana Seva. You give it to anybody, everybody is a Narayana. Nara Narayana, every Nara is a Narayana. And everyone is Narayana, every item is Narayana. And when everybody is Narayana Swarupa, and therefore you offer it to anybody, and that becomes Narayana Seva. And Mrs. Carpenter used to bring oblation for Baba to the mosque every day. And thinking that one day she prepared something. But only thing is, before she could bring it, a dog came and smelt it. And like many people have that in their austerities, that anything, anybody coming and smelling it or even touching it or eating it is impure. Then she threw it. She was about to throw it, but instead of that, what she did was she turned away the dog. She threw a burning stick on it. And then after putting a burning stick on it, the dog had got some small injury and it ran away. And then in the evening, she took it to Baba. Baba did not turn up. After waiting a long time, she shifted the oblation and went to the mosque saying, Swami, I have brought it for you. And seeing her, Baba said, why bring the oblation here? When I come in the form of a dog, you hit me with a burning stick. And now for this, in this forum, you are coming and making all this pomp and show. Why do you devotees don't understand? Why do you want to only worship my forum? My forum is not going to be permanent. And if you give importance and respect to my forum alone, then you are disrespecting my other forums. Then I am not interested in you. I am not interested in devotees like you. What is the need of this oblation? And Sai Baba was quite angry on that in order to make them realize that they have to treat everybody properly. And then she fell at his feet, asked for forgiveness. Baba said, Mother, you are worshipping this forum and adore the Atma. What is there in this forum? Several such avatars have come. Several such human forms have come. And God has come in human form. And the forms, human form will have to go because the human life has a particular definition of time of life. And after that, that form goes away. But instead of that, if you are worshipping the Paramatma, then you will be able to worship forever. And also, when the form is burnt, that means when the form dies, it turns to ashes. If you bury it, it turns into mud. It becomes the mud only. But Atma has no birth, no death. It is unrecognizable and non-dual. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells the same thing. The Atma is the one unperishable, and it cannot be burned, it cannot be cut, it cannot be done anything else for that. No dissection. It cannot be destroyed, whether the body could be dissected. And therefore, Atma cannot be destroyed, it cannot be changed. What is the use of forgetting such an Atma and running behind a forum? Mother, all creatures are my forum, see me in all. Then alone you can have real darshan of Sai. Otherwise, coming and sitting here for hours for darshan of me, and then going away thinking that you are very happy and satisfied, but afterwards going and disrespecting my other forums, that's a great injustice. I don't want my devotees to do that. And that alone is bliss. You follow that. Listening to this nectarine teaching, everyone rejoiced. When Swami similarly has told many, many times in his discourses. To the jiva that suffers from ignorance called asthma also, God prescribed a dietary restriction of sensual pleasures called curd. But due to lack of control over the tongue, that is the vasanas of many bats, he enjoys sensual pleasures called the curd. The curd is like the vasanas. Then Lord isolates him from these pleasures in order to uplift him. Unable to recognize the secret, he abuses God for the loss of his pleasures. When that was person, a devotee called Hansraj. And when God, in the form of Guru, reveals the secret, the creator sacrifices the pleasure, destroys ignorance, and gets liberated. And this is the divine meaning taught by this Leela of a curd being stolen by a cat. And then a dog crept in once, Mahalspati. Mahalspati also was a great devotee of Sri Sai Baba. And a dog crept into his house. Mahalspati got angry and hit it with a stick. Later, when he went for Baba Darshan, Baba said, Mahalsa, why do you come here? What mistake did I commit that you hit me when I come to your house? If you did not want me to come, you could have told me. You could just turn me away. But you call me, and when I come in some forum to your house or your place where you call me, or you sit for food, you turn me out. And he proceeded to show the injury on his back. Mahalspati wept, seeing it, and prayed, Lord, unable to recognize that you are the embodiment of all creation, I, being ignorant, have beaten my God. I am a sinner. Please forgive me, Lord. Grant me wisdom. You are my Savior. Bless me that I may not make such mistakes in future. And Baba said that Bhagat Malsapati, real wisdom is obtained only after giving up body consciousness. You must travel from diversity to unity. Believe that the soul is one, though bodies are many. Feel that your own self, it is in the other body, then you will comprehend the reality. Another person called Nana Sahib Dengale prepared once a delicious dish and brought it to Swami. And he, again, when the dog came and approached him, he threw away the plate angrily, saying that it has come and consumed. And when he came to Swami, Swami said, when you hate God, why do you want to offer oblation to him? And why do you restrict God to a particular form or the particular sarupa or the particular name? Am I not present in all the other forms? I have infinite mouths and tongues. Through all mouths I eat and through all the tongues I test. And that's what Sastraksha Sastra, whatever in the Veda we say, and also in the Vishnu Sahasranama. He is the Sahasranama. He is the Sastra Purusha. He is the Atma. He is, therefore, realize this. This is the truth. Realize this Atma is in all creatures. And our Baba never allowed anyone to apply sandal just on him also. And he did not want any kind of adorations or other kind of even ornamentation to be done to him. And then once Swami, a lady from Bandra who suffered severe headache came to Baba for a remedy. And as she sat near Baba, Baba looked at her lovingly. And as his eyes fell upon her, her headache vanished. Baba said, child, I know you right from your childhood. For a long time you had been feeding me sumptuously. I cannot forget that. Since she had come for the first time to Baba from Bandra, from Bombay, she did not understand what Swami meant. Not to clarify her doubt, Baba asked, child, whom do you worship at home? She said, Lord Ganapati. And what about your mother's house? She said, yes, there also they worship Lord Ganapati. And Baba, in authentic tone, in that form of Ganapati, I am consuming everything that you offer to me in your house for the last so many number of years. That's why I said so. There is nothing that is not mine, and there is nothing in which I do not exist. I am everything. It is also I who receive the worship offered to any forum, whether you sing about the bhajan of Ganesha, Subramanya, Anjaneya, Hanumanta, or whatever, Shanmukha, or even Shiva, Rama, Krishna, whatever Devi, whatever gods and deities, it will all come to me. I respond in all those names. Lord Sai, who is Lord of all, is incognizable and divinity incarnate. Devotees realize that Baba is an embodiment of all forms of deities. And similarly, there used to be at that time a lot of the Dattatreya Upasakas and the Dattatreya worshippers. And Swami Dattatreya was again a lot of Yogi Purusha, and he was the Trimurti Swarupa. And over in Akkalkot, Maharashtra, there was an incarnation of Lord Dattatreya named Sri Swami Samartha. He lived in the body till 1878. In 1878, when he was about to leave his body, one of his devotees named Keshav Naik cried, Swami, we cannot withstand your separation. If you leave us and go, who will take care of us? Then he prayed to him pitifully. Swami Samartha Dattatreya Swami said, child, though I am leaving this body here, I am going to be present at Shirdi in another forum. He is also a Dattatreya Swarupa, Shirdi Sai Baba. That too is my incarnation. Go to Shirdi and serve me in that forum to be liberated. Saying that he left his body. After some days, this Keshav Nayak went to Shirdi and saw Swami and then worshipped him and got all his karma vanished. And Baba preached that although a lot of gurus, sadgurus, and others are there in different avatars, and all these avatars, all the even other religions, why not only our Hindu religion and avatars, even the gods described in all other religions, they also have the same kind of avatara or the same God, and whatever worship is done to them by those respective people of the respective religion will also come to Swami. Then another person called Harishchandra Pitale of Bombay came to Baba for a remedy. For the convulsion his son was suffering from. Baba's case, the disease was cured. Later, when he asked Baba's permission to go, Baba said, "Child, I had given you 2 rupees earlier. Now I am giving you 3 more rupees. Keep them in your puja room. You will derive benefit." But he had not remembered to have come Shirdi earlier. And he could not say when the earlier 3 rupees he had given. But Baba had told. And when he went back and told his mother, mother said, "Yes, your father had given rupees 3 to earlier Sri Swami Samartha of Akkalkot. And whatever was given to Akkalkot Swami was also reached Sri Sai Baba. And that's what he said. And after the demise of Akkalkot Swami, devotee named Bhai Krishnaji began to worship Swamiji's photo. And whenever possible, went to Akkalkot to have darshan of Swami's padukas. One day he decided to visit Akkalkot. That night, Swamiji appeared in his dream and said, "At present, I am in Shirdi, in the Shirdi Sai Baba avatar. Then instead of coming to Akkalkot, go to Shirdi. Why go to Akkalkot? Come to Shirdi and worship me there." Bhai Krishnaji visited Shirdi and stayed with Baba for 6 months. But still he decided to visit Akkalkot. He asked Baba's permission for the same. Baba again said, "Why do you get attracted to Akkalkot? Now Akkalkot Swamiji has come here. The Swamiji of that, Dattatreya Swamiji, who was there, is now here in the forum with me." And with that, he gave up the idea of visiting Akkalkot. Truly, Baba is the embodiment of all great souls. It is not necessary that you visit various sadhus or satpurushas. All Sadgurus, Satpurushas are in Shri Sai Baba and Sat Sai Baba incarnate. One person called Narayan of Thane became ill and was bedridden. His friends gave him Baba's photo and vibhuti. With that, his ailment was cured. He heard that Baba was a Muslim fakir. He kept Baba's photo away from Akkalkot Swami's photo, thinking they are two different people. And then a night, fakir appeared in his dream and said, "Swamiji and Sai are not different from each other. Both are one and the same." And so many times Swami has also told that his photo, his image, his statue are not different from him. And even vibhuti packets, and even with vibhuti mantra, whatever you do, also becomes Swami's vibhuti prasadam. And Swami is present either in the photo, image, or whatever it, when the nama or the name of Swami is spelt, then Shri Sai Baba, Sat Sai Baba are always present. And there was another devotee of Ramana Maharshi, because we have also read about all this in our previous satsang sessions. One devotee of Ramana Maharshi, Baba said that he and Ramana Maharshi were not different. Both are one. Similarly told it was Sri Narasimha Saraswati of Ganikapur and Sri Manikya Prabhu. Once he said he was even Kabir earlier. To quote precisely, Baba was all great souls, all creatures, all animate and inanimate. There is nothing which is not he. He is Parama Atma. Baba told a devotee named Manekwal that Akkalkot Swami, Tajauddin Baba, Duniwal Dada, Vishnu Devananda Saraswati, Gajanana Baba are all his forms, and Lord Dattatreya's power is accomplishing all tasks in these forms. When the old devotee of Baba named Nana Sahib Chandorkar came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan, and seeing him, Baba said, "I'm immensely happy to see you. Why did you come so late?" Baba said to them, "I just filled my stomach with them. And why do you bring them again and again?" Because whenever Swami, Shri Sai Baba wanted something that used to get available, even though it is not season or it is not available in any kind of stores. Once a middle class man also who had a lot of devotion had come and prayed with Baba, and Baba cured all his diseases. And once on Shivratri day, one person called Daskanu Maharaj, about whom you know he was a Harikirtanakar, was proceeding for his bath in the river Godavari. On the way he went to Baba and said, "Baba, I am going to have a bath in the Godavari river." Baba said, "Dasaganu Maharaj, why do you go to Godavari river? At present, there is nothing anywhere. And even if you go to Godavari river, the Godavari river is flowing and me only. Everything is here. Why go to Ganga? Even the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, everything is here. And with me, in me." Dasaganu was disappointed and fell at Baba's feet and did not go to Godavari river. Immediately, Baba's feet, water of the holy Ganges came from Baba's feet and fell into Daskanu's hands. He rejoiced that Baba was only true Lord Shivan Narayana himself, and everything was in him. And why sometimes devotees try to go to other pilgrimages when Swami Baba, Shri Sai Baba, Sat Sai Baba, they themselves are everything embodied in them. When Daskanu Maharaj wanted to go to Prayag and bathe in the Triveni Sangama, that is Ganga Yamuna Sangama, Ganga Yamuna Saraswati. Before going there, he went to Baba to seek his permission. Baba said, Dasakanu, why you take all the trouble to go such a long distance to Prayag? Aren't Ganga and Yamuna and Saraswati in me? Believe me. This itself is Prayag. Ganga and Yamuna are here itself. This itself is Gaya. This itself is Kashi. No, Sat Sai Baba also had told some of the devotees, including Kasturi, when they wanted to go to Ayodhya, wanted to go to Kashi, Gaya, and also Prayag. Swami Sat Sai Baba also had told same thing, that he also said he'll be accompanying them. And in fact, he even said, you proceed by train, and I will have reached there before you. As he went down in Ganga and Yamuna, began to flow from the lotus feet of Shri Satyasai Shri Sai Baba himself. Dasaganu composed beautiful songs about this there itself and sang them in presence of Shri Sai Baba. Lord Sai, the embodiment of all deities and all the tirthas and all the pilgrimages and the holy places. All the tirthas like Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri are all infinitesimally small part in him only. Baba is truly divine incarnate. And in 1917, Mr. Tarkad came to Baba along with her son. Baba called his boy and asked for 8 rupees. When the boy said that he did not have them, Baba asked him to go to Jog, one person called Jog, and get them. At that time, Mr. Jog was explaining Dhruva Charitra to the people around him. When this boy arrived, Jog was saying, sadhus and great souls are employed by God, but they are not God themselves and can never become God. No matter how many miracles or leelas they may perform, God is God and sadhu is a sadhu. Listening to these words, the boy became angry and returned to Baba, and even told Shri Sai Baba that, why did you send me there to Mr. Jog? Jog is not thinking you are God. He said that you are not God, you are only a sadhu. You can never become God, and that you are merely employed by God. Baba smiled and said, what is wrong in that? It is true. I am what he said, I am a poor fakir, and that's all. He did not react. The boy bravely again said, Baba, do not talk like this and deceive us. We firmly believe that you are God. We should not listen to anyone abusing sadhus and great souls. Sadhus and God are all one, isn't it? Lord Sai lovingly took that boy close to him and said, child, read good epics related to God every day and do Namasmarana, and everybody is God. Not only the sadhus and not only me, and even you are God, and that Mr. Jog also is God. Boy said, Baba, if for any reason I do not follow, I will incur sin. Therefore, I will only think of you. Baba rejoiced, listened to these words and told the boy's mother, your son's responsibility is upon me. He is mine. My devotee's responsibility are my responsibility. Swami similarly said, Sat Sai Baba, about the students, they are real assets. And even he said, they are the real kind of ties. And therefore, properties, when he said, yeah, they are my property, they are my proper ties. And when my devotee is in difficulty, I rush to him spreading all my 4 hands and 400 hands and any number of hands that is required. I go to my devotees whenever they are in difficulty and they call me and I'll go and protect them. Immediately Baba said, Baba, just now you said that you are only poor fakir. How is that you think that you are able to do this if you are not God? How can you possess? Now, for whomever they think I am God, I am God. For whomever they think I am not God, I am not God. That's all. It's not only belief, Shraddha and Saburi. Listening to his question, Baba was extremely happy. He pulled the boy onto his lap and blessed him by glimpsing him at him with his yoga drishti. And similarly for several other people, several other miracles took place, and a lot of people, they came and worshipped Shri Sai Baba, saying, you are the Digambara Datta Deva, who is receiving the alms in Kolhapur, taking bath and performing japa in Kashi, drinking the unsullied waters of the river Tungabhadra as Mantralayam Raghavendra Swami, and also at Ganagapura as Ganagapura Dattatreya Swami, and reposing in Muhurapuram. Baba appreciates all over all deities are in him. And Krishna ji experienced that both Baba and Akkalkot Swamiji were one and the same. And similarly, Padukas, like we do the Guru Paduka Seva and the Guru Vandanam. Padukas were made according to specification made by Upasini Baba. The doctor had done beautifully carved in Bombay and sent them to Shirdi with his compounder. Upasini Baba saw them and gave his approval. Devotees rejoiced seeing them and prayed to Baba to permit their installation. Baba, who loved to please his devotees, gave his consent with a smile only for pleasing them. He said, I do not want any of this paduka, either silver or any other material. I am not interested. And similarly, Swami had told about the golden chariot when it was presented to him by the Madras Chettiar. And Baba almost refused to even go up the golden chariot in the Prasanthi Nilayam. But later, after pleading by the devotees, then he agreed for it. Either Baba or Swami, they do something to just please her. It is not that they want any pomp show or anything. And therefore, they do not want any Jai Jaikar. They do not want any bhajans to be sung in praise of them. They do not want any prize. They do not want anything. It's all for our own satisfaction. And therefore, these are God's padukas. These are called Nirguna padukas. And they will bring the wisdom and bliss to everyone. And therefore, Swami went on blessing hundreds and hundreds of devotees at Shirdi who came to him. And in fact, Shirdi Baba never traveled out of Shirdi. Like even Swami had told that he will not go to Puttaparthi. Only for a couple of years he traveled here and there. But he had promised his mother Ishwaramba that he will not go to Puttaparthi and stay somewhere else. And similarly, Shirdi Baba stayed in Shirdi until his Samadhi. And then with one or two more, this thing will come into the last 15-20 minutes of Swami's Samadhi stage. And Swami said he realized that Baba was not an ordinary man, but a divinity incarnate in the form of Fakir. He cast all his orthodox sentiments aside and offered the Dakshina. And even the Dakshinas why he was taking from some of the devotees was to purify them and take away their sins. Because Dakshina means it's kind of a dana, a charity. And many of the time, we people on our own, we don't do any of the charities. In order to make you do some charity and earn some punya out of it and get out of your sins, this Dakshina was being taken by Swami, not by from everyone, but only from whom, if it is given, will help them. And Swami used to say, whenever he takes any Dakshina of even 10 rupees, he has to give them back 10 times to 100 times back to them, not in the rupees alone, but in all their fortunes. And Baba declared, I am not bound by any body and time. I have no prarabdha, I have no sanchita, I have no agami karma. Do not judge me with my body consciousness. What you have to derive from me are the dharma, artha, kama, and the moksha. And therefore, this is what happened. And the Baba's various other leelas followed. Hundreds and thousands of devotees were benefited by Swami's leelas. And then the important thing about today being now today, that means yesterday was Vijayadashmi, was Samadhi. And just before Samadhi, we will just read for about 5 minutes Chowdi procession, and then followed by the Samadhi and the reincarnation. These three, I think, subjects will take about 15 minutes. The Chowdi procession. Close to the Masjid Dwarkama, even where Baba lived, there is a building with a couple of rooms called Chowdi. Baba would sleep in the Masjid and in the Chowdi on the alternate days. From the 10th December 1909, devotees began to take Baba in a procession to the Chowdi and offer regular worship and arti to him. This came to be known as Chowdi procession, which is followed even today in Shirdi and all the Shirdi Baba temples. Before proceeding towards the Chowdi, devotees would flock in the Masjid and sing bhajans in ecstasy with Baba in the front, Tulsi Vrindavana on the right and the chariot on the left. Devotees would immerse themselves in the bliss amidst the vibrations of various musical instruments. In this way, while some sang the bhajans, some would trim the Givatyas for the procession, while some decorated the palanquin, some stood with cane sticks in their hand and uttered cries of victory to Baba. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. And they were always going on declaring this. Meanwhile, some would light the lamps in the masjid. With a series of lamps, the masjid would shine as the sky shines with a garland of stars. Among us all, this Baba would shine like a full moon at all its 16 aspects. Baba's horse, Shamakarna, would stand in front of the masjid fully decorated. You can see all this similar thing in various Swami's processions, both before, after the Golden Chariot arrived and also before the Golden Chariot, the Ratha Utsava and all other things, all similar. After all the arrangements were made, Tatya Patil would come along with a party of men to Baba and ask him to be ready. Baba would sit quiet in his place till Tatya came. After looking in if everything was ready, Tatya would come and say, let us go, and would help Baba get up by putting his arm under Baba's armpit, like the Satyajit and other one or two other Swami's students also helped Swami like that until their end, until Swami's end. Baba would wear the usual kafani. He would take his satka under his armpit, taking his chillum and tobacco and filling and flinging a cloth over his shoulder, he would get ready to start for the procession. Then Tatya would cover his body with a golden embroidered beautiful shawl. The relationship between Tatya and Baba were extremely intimate and explicable, like father and son or brother and brothers. Tatya would address Baba as Mama, sometimes uncle. How fortunate was Tatya to have such an intimate relationship with the fully embodied incarnation of Parabrahma, Satchidananda Swami Satyai, Shri Sai Brahma, Parabrahma himself. After this, Baba would show in with the right toe the bundle of fuel sticks lying behind it, the duni, and would extinguish the burning lamp with the right hand and then move on towards the chowdi. Then all sorts of musical instruments will be played in full pitch. Like we say, many of the instruments that are being played in Swami's every function, including yesterday in Prashanti Nilayam, we could see the musical concert and all other bhajans and all other instruments being played. By all the devotees would cry out in unison, victory to Sai Baba, and that is all the Vijaya Rashmi. Some would happily fight crackers and either, and ether would shine in various colors in ecstatic bliss. Devotees would dance and sing bhajans. Some would dance holding flags in their hands. Meanwhile, Baba would slowly climb the steps of the masjid. When he would resemble the rising sun, devotees would celebrate the sight of Baba and offer the salutations. With choked voices and tears of bliss rolling down their cheeks, they would cry out, Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. And that was the fervor. The fully decorated red horse named Shamakarna would lead the procession, followed by musical players. Along with the way, devotees would spread folds of cloth on which Baba walked with the support of either Tatya or Mahaswati, like the red carpet being drawn or drawn out in every of Swami's functions also for Swami to walk on that. Or something else. They're standing on either side, some would fan Baba, like the electrical fan today. Earlier at that time, the electrical fan was not there. They would fan Baba with the chamaris. Bapu Sahib Jog would hold the chatra over Baba's head. And the atmosphere sanctified with the Lord's name. The earth was purified with the touch of Lord Sai's feet during that procession. Devotees never winked and remained with their eyes wide open, like in Swami's darshan whenever he used to come out in Prashanti Nilayam. People never closed their eyes at that time, whatever may happen. As they could not afford to miss even a single moment, single second of the beautiful sight. Really, those who saw the sight are the fortunate ones. It is not an exaggeration to say that even animals, birds, insects, and germs too are also liberated seeing such a beautiful procession of Chowdi procession. During the procession, Baba resembled the resplendent sun that radiated cool rays. The procession was nectarine and blissful. As the musical instruments were played, Baba would turn his hands up and down in a strange manner, some gestures being made, like Swami used to make always. At that time, Kaka Sahib Dikshit would throw rose petals, smeared with gulal, and Baba in an alternative, attractive manner. Baba at that time radiated like Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva himself. All the three deities combined. Two eyes were not enough to enjoy the beauty of Baba. As a result, devotees would widen their eyes and look at Baba. Unlike to bear the ecstatic joy, Mahaspati would dance like a pramada, sometimes losing their own kind of sensual thinking, and they used to dance with the bhajans. And like this, almost the Chaudi person saying like a Vaikunta. And all this right, and she reaching the Chaudi, Tatya would go ahead, spread the asan, place a bolster, and request Baba to sit there. They would make Baba wear a mukmal coat, put a crown, which has a tuft above on his head, decorate him with garlands of flowers and jewels around his neck, put a mark on his forehead with musk, mixed vertical lines on a dot, and then worship him in various ways. This bliss attained while having Baba darshan was inexplicable. At the time, Baba would appear on Lord Sai, Sri Krishna. One would not be content no matter how much they looked at him and how many times they went and have again darshan and darshan and darshan. Baba would remove the crown once in a while and devotees would replace it again and again. It was a strange relation of love and affection and bliss. That world was a different one. It was a world of bliss. And Bapu Sahib would place Baba's feet in a silver plate and wash them. He would offer them argya and dipadya, apply sandal paste to them. He would worship Baba, placing flowers on his head and feet. Later, he would drink the water with which Baba's feet or was, like yesterday, the prokshana of the Amrita Kalasham, of the Homa. And similarly, not only the prokshana, here, even he drank that aposhana of these Swamis, this holy water of his feet, lotus feet. Let a Tatya and other devotees would prostrate at those most holy feet. And like this, the Chaudi procession was a great thing. Similarly, Sri Ramanavami, Uras celebrations also had a great kind of celebrations and fervor in Shirdi Baba. And we come to the Samadhi state now, and we have another about 5-6 minutes through this. Though Paramatma is omniscient and omnipresent, all pervading and everything, he manifests in ourselves in a body of a human form. In order to uplift the jivas who have restrained views and differences of opinion, he attracts them through his leelas and extraordinary qualities and takes them to a state of omniscience and omnipresence. Like he always makes them equal to him. Swami also used to say, I will make you Satya Sai Baba before you go and before I go. And he used to say, me and you are not different. I know I am God. You are yet to know. And until you get the transformation to that state, and Swami said, I'll be going and preaching. That's what Swami did. And similarly, Shri Sai Baba also did. Sai Baba is the most majestic incarnation who manifests on earth with an intention to attract people towards the para and the apara by blessing them in this world. Baba fully empowered Parabrahma to relinquish his physical body. And in 1912, Baba became in a similar manner, and the disease worsened day by day, like our Swami also. But he cured himself after 3 to 4 days, and he came back. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, Tatya, Shama, Dikshit, other stewards of Baba got together and began to discover whether the body should be burned or buried in case Baba Shiri at that time in 1912. And like similarly, Swami had done it somewhere in 1969 or 1970 in Goa. And they wanted to ask Baba about it, but no one had the courage to do so. But they waited until, because they had asked Malsapati, Swami had told that wait for me. If I come back alive within 3 days, then okay. Otherwise, just bury me. And similarly, it happened in 1915 and in 2-3 other times, Baba's suffering was there. He had taken the suffering of various other devotees. And in 1886, Baba suffered from severe asthma also, and he had taken away the asthma of somebody else, and he had taken upon himself. And also similarly, he had taken upon the plague on himself to get rid of the problems of some of his devotees. And Baba taught practically the body and the Atma, the Kshetra and the Kshetragna, as in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna. In 1916, devotee named Ramachandra Patil became seriously ill. He tried all remedies but found no relief. Everyone thought he would surely die. One night, Baba appeared near his cot and said, Child, are you afraid? Why fear when I am here? And similarly, Swami has said, why fear when I am here? Your death has been averted. You are not dying. You need not be anxious now, but I am afraid of Tatya. And he is to pass away on Vijayadashmi of 1918, October 15. No one knows about this because Tatya is a very young person. And they'll be scared if they come to know of it. Therefore, don't tell anybody. Do not divulge this to anybody. Saying this, he disappeared. As foretold by Baba, he became well soon. Baba once promised Bhayabai, mother of Tatya, that mother of Tatya, that as long as I'm here, there is no need to worry about Tatya. I will sacrifice my life for his and protect him to keep up his promise. It appears Baba decided to give up his own life, his own body, instead of Tatya's on Vijayadashmi of 1918, that is on 15th October. It was a coincidence of yesterday's date. This was indicated by Baba in a subtle manner of Vijayadashmi of 1916, when he had said Simolangana, and he had dared to do that Simolangana and dared everybody to come and prove that whether he is not God, whether he is a Muslim or whether he is a Hindu. And he became a Rudra Swarupa, and then nobody could dare to go near him. And then later, Tatya Patil went near him and he tried to calm him down. And then later, Swami said, yes, Baba said, and unable to comprehend it was a mark of grace, feeling that Baba had insulted her, she lied down under a tree, without taking food. And Swami said, nobody should do like this here. And he took her to Lendi Bagh. And then it is my fortune, Baba said, all the devotees who are present now will not see me second incarnation. Many of them are not going to be there. That's why I am not telling them about the second incarnation of me. Since you will not live long and see me, I have told you. She questioned and said, should I never disclose this to anyone? Baba said, Samay ke liye nirikshan karo. Later, Baba said, child, promise to my feet that you will not disclose this, what I say to you now. You are your feet are witness to it, Baba. I shall not die with it, Baba said. Then, child, with the same name, Sai Baba, who will be called as Satya Sai Baba, I shall once again reincarnate in Andhra Pradesh. You will come to me then as a Shri Sai Baba devotee, having belief in me also and worship me. You will be with me and I shall give you the supreme joy even in my second incarnation as Satyasai Baba. And therefore, Shirdi Sai Baba had announced that he will be reborn as Shirdi Sai Satyasai Baba in 1926. And then mentioned earlier, Baba began to make all arrangements necessary for his demise. This is what with sadhus, they know when their end will come. Once it happened that a great devotee named Bhuti, Millionaire and Shama were sleeping together. He had a dream. Baba appeared and said, build a Vada in Shirdi with a temple called Bhuti Vada in the center. I shall come and stay there. We will all live happily there for a long time. Bhuti woke up happily over the dream by then Shama. Already woke up and was crying. Bhuti asked him, what happened? He said, what can I say? Baba appeared in my dream, asked me to have a Vada constructed Shirdi with a temple in the center. I'm a poor man. How can I do this? Bhuti was astonished listening to this because he had a similar dream. And they got Baba permission to draw up a blueprint for the building. Plan was shown to Baba. Baba approved it. Bhuti, with the help of the Shama and Dikshit, began the construction work. Baba occasionally suggested improvements while on his way to Lindibag. When Shama came to Baba and said, Baba, Bhuti decides to install an idol of Lord Gopala Krishna, Venugopala Krishna on a platform in the center of this Vada, on the ground floor. What's your opinion about this? Baba said, Shama, why are you in such a hurry? Let the building be constructed first. Later, we will all decide as to who could come and stay. And instead of Venugopala Krishna, I may myself come and stay there happily. During these days, Yamadapan came to Shirdi and Yamadapan wrote this Satsai, Satcharitra. And then it so happened on the Vijayashmi, they approached. Tatya's health worsened. He began to plead to his fellow devotees to take him to Baba at least once for darshan. When Baba had high temperature, when the desire of Tatya was conveyed to Baba, Baba agreed to have him brought. Baba would send Udi to Tatya every day. Some devotees brought Tatya to Baba. Baba made him sit next to himself and gave him a pillow to lean on against the wall. Tatya leaned against it and somehow managed to sit. Baba got some pudding and helped him drink it. Seeing this scene, everyone began to cry. After he drank the pudding, with motherly love, Baba wiped the Tatya slips with his upper garment and questioned with his eyebrows, how do you feel now? Though Baba was in a similar bad condition, he treated his devotee Tatya. He took great care of Tatya. Moved by this, Tatya began to stop crying out, Swami, Baba, Baba. He fell on his Baba's lap. Devotees could not control their tears. They all wailed loudly at the time. Baba smiled in despair, applying Udi on Tatya's forehead. He said, Tatya, grieve no more. Two vehicles had come for two of us. Initially, I have decided to not to take you along with me right now. You are going to live. I am going to go to the Sargaloka. This vehicle from Sargaloka has come for me. So I sent back your vehicle. Presently, I am alone going there. But you may go home. You will become very soon. Well, very soon. Sorrow of the devotee doubled listening to these words of Baba. No matter how hard they tried, they could not stop their tears. Baba and Bhuti worried that Baba would leave his body before stepping out into the new building. Devotees were grief-stricken in the last days Baba made. Vase read Rama Vijayam for 7 days to appease the god of death. Baba's condition worsened every moment. Baba stopped collecting alms. 4 days before Vijayashmi, Baba said to Mrs. Nandu Marwadi, Mother, I will not stay in Dwarkamai or Chowdi anymore. Oil merchants are going to irritate me. I will move to Bhuti Vada and be the Venugopala Krishna there. And therefore, finally Baba said, deteriorated. The news that Baba was going to leave his body spread far and wide. Devotees did Parayana. It's all similar to what happened to Swami Samadhi on 24th April 2011. Devotees did Parayana, various epics performed distribution of food, offered puja of Sheikh for the sake of Baba's health. Just before Vijayashmi, Baba's health showed signs of little bit improvement. Devotees felt that now Baba's health would become better and he may leave. But after that, Nana Sahib Dikshit, Nana Sahib Nimunkar also talked to him before Vijayashmi. Baba observed silence for a long period, and at the time of departure was nearing, Baba forced Dikshit, Bhuti and Shama and others to go for lunch. They were not willing to leave Baba and go. And as they could not disobey Baba's command, they somehow hardened their hearts and went to the lodges. As per Baba's command, all the devotees went for lunch. Only Lakshmi Bai Shinde, Bagoji, Bala Simpe, Kaka Sahib Nimunkar, and Bayaji Patil only remained with Baba. Baba called Lakshmi Bai, who offered him alms every day. He gave her 50 rupees first, 4 rupees later. 5 types and then 4 types of devotees are mentioned in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavata. And therefore he gave it as Nava Vidhi Bhakta, Nava Vidhi Bhakti. And therefore, that's what we gave 9 kinds to Lakshmi Bai as a Navavida Bhakti. Even the last minute he proved his statement, call me Sai from the depth of your heart, and I shall respond, saying, Oi, Ai, I am coming. And that's what Swami is also doing, Shri Sai Baba also doing. And then the time of great devotee of Baba, Sant Askanu Maharaj, was performing Kirtan at a village. That night Baba appeared in his dream and said, Dasaganu, are you still sleeping? Come on, get up. The masjid has collapsed. I have left my body. Come along with your disciples to Shirdi and cover my samadhi with a shawl. Perform the Namas Saptaham. And then he was called there. Dasaganu got started. He rushed to Shirdi. Though Baba left his physical body, he is omnipresent. Thousands of devotees reached Samadhi. And also, as he had willed, during last minutes, Baba's body, after this thing, was put into Samadhi at the same place where Venugopala Krishna idol was to have been put and was to have been selected as a kind of place for the idol installation. And every day got ameliorated with his divine benediction and mercy through his body, which is Prakriti, merged in Prakriti. Parak Prakriti merged in the Prakriti. That's all. Nature went back to nature. Lord Sai, who is Paramatma, is always present with all of us as the Divyatma Paramatma. Both Shri Sai Baba and Sat Sai Baba now present in all of us, every minute, with every one of us, blessing all of us all the time. This Paramatma is Avinashi. And Baba attained Mahasamadhi. A devotee was grief-stricken. Condition of the initiate devotee is inexplicable. His important Sevak Abdullah was worried every moment, and he began to spend a lot of time sitting near the Samadhi and overcome with grief. And lot of people, thousands and thousands, poured into Shirdi, and they could not hold up this thing. And that Shirdi Sai, now, as promised 8 years after attaining Divya Samadhi by Shri Sai Baba, that is in 1918, October 15, on the 23rd November 1926, Shri Sai Baba incarnated as our Lord Satyasai Baba in the Puttaparthi village in Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh. That Shri Sai Satyasai of today. As predicted, he came down once again. He is yet to come once again now as Prema Sai at Gunuparthi in Mandya district in Karnataka. May all realize unity among these divine incarnations and be liberated, enjoying the darshan, sparshan, sambhashan, blessings and grace. And we seek Swami's, Shri Sai Baba's, Sat Sai Baba's blessing and complete today's satsang Sai Ram. One bhajan and we are concluding the same.
Sai Ram. शिरडी साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा प्रेमामृत धारा तब सेवा के अवसर दीजो सत्य साई महादेव तब सेवा के अवसर दीजो सत्य साई महादेव गानामृत में भाव भी दीजो प्रेम साई भगवान प्रेम साई भगवान गानामृत में भाव भी दीजो प्रेम साई भगवान प्रेम साई भगवान शिरडी साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा प्रेमामृत धारा तब सेवा के अवसर दीजो सत्य साई महादेव गानामृत में भाव भी दीजो प्रेम साई भगवान प्रेम साई भगवान गानामृत में भाव भी दीजो प्रेम साई भगवान, प्रेम साई भगवान। शिरडी साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा, प्रेमामृत धारा। Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, best wishes to all the devotees of Sai Sparshan. Thank you, Sai Ram. Sai Ram.